Ken in Michigan writes to me. He's obviously a Michigander. I have treated first and second reflection points and for the center image. But what should be used behind the listening position? Reflection, absorption. Right now, I have a whole wall rack holding about 5,000 CDs. Well, Ken, there's a whole bunch of philosophies on that. And most of you know that I am a fan in rooms of abfusion, or at a minimum, staying away from absorbers and using diffusers. So I'm a big fan of diffusers. Now we have inside of our room here, we have a bit of everything. We have some absorbers on the wall, but mostly we rely upon diffusers. But that's in this area that I'm looking at, because you can't see it, but there's the speakers right there. And then I have the diffusers behind that and on the sidewalls, which sounds like what he did. In the back, boy, you know, it's like 6 of one, half dozen of another. Many people like to have that, the live end, dead end sort of thing, right? Which means that they would have a set of absorbers behind them. Now what we have here are those flat panels. You can see that, and they're kind of cool in a little bit of a pattern. Those are very specifically tuned filters, if you will, that we have a couple of sounds in here that we've measured, and those reduce that peak down. But they are essentially reflective, okay? So I still, personally, I like a little bit of absorption behind me, but not too much. I really don't want it to be too dead back there. Michael Fremer, very famous reviewer. You go to his house, and he doesn't have hardly anything, except he has a bazillion albums. So behind you are all these albums, which isn't quite the CDs, because albums, unlike a CD, which has little plastic cases, albums are, boy, they do both, and they're wonderful, more absorbers than anything, but it works at Michael's house. You're just going to have to experiment. But for my tastes, I prefer a little bit of absorption and maybe just with some experimenting back here, a little bit of diffusion, but most of that I want the live end down here. And if you're going to do anything, just do it by ear, and just take your time and do it gently. Don't start throwing in all this stuff, because it's going to turn dead and the whole room is going to lose its life. And I don't want you to have to go through that. Okay? Hope that helps. Thanks. Bye.